Well, welcome everyone. I'm so glad to see you. I'm here today with my friend Magda Sommer, who's in the wellness space as well, but she's a functional nutrition, a nutrition coach, a wellness coach, a nutrition coach, and I think we can't really heal from chronic pain and chronic stress and recovery without the nutritional component. So I'm excited to bring an expert on. I'm not an expert. I'm an expert at my own nutritional program, but I'm not kind of a general expert. That's not my area. So welcome, Magda. We're so glad to see you.
Welcome everyone. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, for having me here. It's such an honor, and I would love to share with you all my expertise and my mission.
Beautiful. Can you tell us where you're hailing from? Where are you from today?
I am originally was born in Poland, and 23 years ago I came to United States, and currently I live in state of Florida, which I absolutely love. I love the warm weather and southern hospitality and everything all about Florida.
Beautiful. And can you tell us a little bit about the backstory to how you got into functional nutrition?
Yes. So years ago, I was introduced to United States food, and it was such a different food that was in Europe. And to be honest, it tastes awful. And back then, I was believing that everything what is on the shelf is good for our own consumption because government will never allow to do something to harm us, right? I was so wrong. So first of all, I gained weight eating exactly the same things what I used to eat in Poland, but I didn't make connection because before I never gained weight. But fast forward, my best friend was diagnosed with cancer, stage 4, and that opened my eyes to our medical system. And I dig deep into history of Western medicine, how it was created, all the treatments, and also I start looking for alternative treatment and deeper in our food. And unfortunately, my friend passed away way too prematurely. But if you will think that was wake-up call for me, no, because it didn't affect me. I have my knowledge, but we always think, well, it's not us. It will never happen to us, right? But during the same time when she was sick, and because her diagnosis and was just few months before she passed away. So during the same time, I was diagnosed with huge uterine fibroids. And also I have 3 car accidents. So I start looking for alternative options because the doctor told me, you are over 40, you don't want to have more kids, so you don't need your body parts. And I have big, discontent with that because I was born with all the body parts and were needed for us. There is not such a thing like we do not need something. Even with the car, you replace part. You're not taking something without replacing something, right? So I was traveling over the States looking for easier treatment, something more alternative, something more conservative. And I noticed one thing that every doctor sells what they know. They didn't have my best interest. Radiologists will told me this is only the options. The surgeon told me this is the only option. So I need to dig deeper and deeper. And again, it wasn't my wake-up call because no one dies from uterine fibroids, right? Although the life was inconvenient, but it wasn't terminal. Until the day when my doctor called me and told me with dire voice, there is something on my spine and I need to go to the Cancer Institute. And that moment, it got my attention. At that moment, my life stops, and I knew that I need to change something in my life because I want to live. I want to live to the fullest. I want to be on my son's wedding. I want to travel. And that's how I started. And I noticed that in more knowledge I had, that more power I had, that I will feel more healthy, more empowered because I knew what's going on in my body. And In functional medicine, what I discover, we are looking for the root cause. Why that happened to me? Why I have those fibroids? Why I was so anemic? Thank God it wasn't the cancer, right? But it was my wake-up call. And our body constantly sending signals to us. We are just so disconnected, we have no idea what that means. Because trust me, our headache doesn't mean that we need the painkillers. It can mean something different, and it can be a lot of those things. And I'm going deeper and deeper, and I'm on the mission to empower other women to also listen to their body. And I'm guiding them to find the root cause of their illness. Because let's be honest, health is liberation, not limitation. We just get it wrong from the beginning.
That should be your tagline. Health is liberation, not limitation.
Yes. Yes.
That's beautiful. My goodness. So important. So my audience is working, we're really focused on stress management, and maybe like I'm getting ready to do a program called best breath practices for stress management and emotional regulation. But here's the thing, our nutrition, we can do the breath work and we can do those practices, but without the nutritional component working with it, we're going to be kind of spinning our wheels. We're not going to get anywhere.
Absolutely, I agree. And I also tell all my women with I'm working, when you stress, you won't heal ever. Because everything is connected, our mental state, our trauma, what we eat, how we behave, how we think, and you can go on and on with that. We cannot address just one part like nutrition. We also need to address our trauma, our stress level, because there's a different vibration when existing, when we are in state of stress, and our body under the stress, it will never heal. So proper nutrition, proper breath work, proper stress management is also important, and you cannot skip it. There is no either or. It needs to be whole.
That's right. Hydration and sleep would be a couple more things I would toss in there as kind of requirement.
Absolutely.
For just to try and, a lot of people in my audience have been, or most people in my audience have either been or are still in chronic stress response. So the stress response is in the on position, and their nervous system is dysregulated, and they're trying to bring that stress response back to balance. And as you said, we don't heal when we're stressed. So we have to do all the things, which is a holistic approach, of course, all the things we need to do to support the nervous system to bring that stress response back to normal. There's a lot of changes that happen in the brain because of chronic pain. Negativity, we get that negative mind. You're all wrong. It's all wrong. I'm wrong. I'm bad. All that kind of stuff. And we get confusion, and we can't think straight. And so it's very important to begin with a routine, a healthy, holistic routine.
Absolutely, completely agree. I would love to add one part to the stress, because it's not just, a lot of people think the stress is our mindset, how we approach life and what we're stressing, but also from perspective of functional medicine, stress is also your toxicity, what you're surrounding, like what products you're using, if your spine is in the right alignment. There's also a stress, and our body, our adrenal glands, doesn't recognize what kind of stress is that. Stress is stress for a body. It doesn't matter what it comes from. If it comes from our thinking, or if coming from our surrounding or stuff what we're putting on our body. So, like I said before, stress, you cannot bypass it, and this is very important. So thank you for your mission, what you're doing, because this is big part of healing as a whole and holistic practice.
Beautiful. It's always so much fun to work with and to collaborate with another holistic a practitioner in the space. Can you talk a little bit about, because some people will say to me, well, you're in stress management and like, why not just no stress at all? And like, well, life is stressful, right? There's stress in life, but we need to learn how to be resilient, and build our capacity for, it's not like it's not like life doesn't, things don't happen in life and we don't react. It's like, how quickly can we come back to equilibrium, right?
Absolutely.
How do you, where do you start with a new client who comes into you just kind of stressed out, and you can see them when they walk in, like, how do you start?
Well, I'm starting with the rolling the ears to ease the tension first, but we are taking the breath. And first, I need to understand why you're coming to me, and we're working on your mindset, because we are programmed the way that we still, even if we know, we still believe that it will be quick journey and will be easy, and we I called it ibuprofen syndrome, that everyone have short goal. I will do this and that's it. So on the beginning, I'm really working on the mindset, why you want to be healthy, why you want to have like beautiful life. And we're not looking for the short-term goals because they not work. If you do not have the vision for your life, why you want to be healthy, what you will do with this, you will fail. You need to understand the healthy lifestyle is a gain. This is the part of liberation, because everyone has energy to watch Netflix on the couch all day long. But no one, not everyone has energy to do really what is joyful, like bike rides, like traveling, like dancing. And we are human, we need movement. So I always start with the mindset, with the dream, where we want to go. Because when you have this foundation, rest of this is just the techniques.
Mm.
And you will follow this more easier because you have outlook for a life which is more positive, more joyful. Because when you have this negative thoughts, you vibrate in different dimensions. You are different. And if you constantly waking up and saying, I'm so tired, I am sick, you will never heal. And there is the toughest part, to convince yourself that you are getting better every single day.
Mhm. Mhm. So I heard you say the first thing was, I work with their ears to relax them, and then I do breath, and then I do the mindset. And that's exactly the same order that I work with a new client. Is I start with the breath. They come to me dysregulated and worried, and they don't know who I am, and maybe they haven't met me. So the job there is to provide the best that I can, a safe space for them. And we just do 3 minutes of left nostril breathing or alternate nostril breathing, and their nervous system, that you can see, they just calm down, and now we can have a conversation.
Absolutely. That's
Right.
the
So
trick.
I don't want anybody to miss that part, because you kind of went whoop whoop and then you went into mindset, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, let's remember there's an order to this.
Yes, like everyone is coming on the meeting very quick. And what's new? What's new? And it's like, calm down, take a breath, just relax your shoulder. And, let's talk after that. So just leave whatever you brought from the street, wherever you are, this
Mhm.
needs to go, and just focus on you. Because when you're with me, it's your time. It's your time to ask me all the questions. It's just about you. It's your time.
Beautiful, beautiful. So that gives everybody an idea of what Magda is all about. So excited to bring you into this space and share you with my audience. Can you tell us a little bit about the visibility challenge from your angle, and what made you interested in that?
Uh, Visibility challenge. First of all, I am so honored to be part of this and surrounded by all the extraordinary women like you. And for me, it was, I need to be visible for other people, to show them there is an other way than be just chronically ill. There is a way to reverse it and live the life really joyful and fulfilled. If you look on the street, you will see all the angry people constantly in a rush. Those people don't know where they're going in life. They usually so stressed or sick, and they just living on the autopilot to the next weekend, to the next party, to something. And it wasn't that way before. Something changed. So I am on the mission to show other women and empower them with the knowledge. So if I will hide and will be not visible, I cannot be the beacon light for other women to guide them, to the more joyful life. And especially women, which is my specialty, over 40, when just like perimenopause hits and all the stuff is going on. And I know so many can relate to it. We put ourselves last. Everyone and everything's going first, and there is no more time for us.
Mm.
And I learned this hard way.
Me too.
And I learned this hard way that I was the last one on the food chain to take care of myself, and I paid for it. So that's why I want to be visible to other women, to guide them, to show them there is other way. And it's okay to be selfish sometimes. And it's okay to choose you first. Because otherwise we will never heal. And I really, really want to create the world which is more polite, more healthy, more joyful. Because I don't like what I see.
Beautiful. The always trying to get there, for me is because I lived that way for a long time, always trying to get there. And I missed here. Right? Right, which is where the healing is and the juice is and all of it. But if I'm always trying to get there, I'm either I've got a foot in the past and a foot in the future, and I'm kind of missing
Present.
the present, where what I call the healing field here. So anybody who's relates to this, and all the women that I know, as soon as we could walk, we were put into service. So very much, and we got to dregs whatever was left over energetically, right? We got whatever was left over, kind of thing. We're encouraging you to switch that, to switch that. Everyone is better. You're better served if you serve yourself first, and everyone else is as well. It's kind of like in an airplane. Well, when you put your oxygen mask on first, and then you help the person next to you, it's like that. Yeah.
Yes, but how, like, we are surrounded with extraordinary women who already know that. But I didn't knew about that. I didn't know about that like years ago. And when someone told me you need to put yourself first, I was like, what do you mean first? Since a little child, I was, trained to put myself last and do everything what was required to do stuff. But no one told me that it's important what my dreams are. It was important, how I want to spend my life. We were following so path which was not our path, not our journey, and that also caused a lot of illness in our body because we are not fulfilled. And I remember when my son was teenager, when I was like watching Netflix and laying on the couch, and I was like, is my life will be looking like that? And I was in the early 40s. And it's like, I don't want to live like that. And it sounds easy, but it's not. Choosing yourself is a process, is hard work, is an inner guilt. It's inner guilt that I spending time for myself instead of doing something, either for house, for my spouse, for my child, or for other people. It was the guilt, inner guilt, which was silly guilt, but it took time to process that and feel not guilty anymore.
Yes, that I know it well, and that from like a yogic point of view, we would say that we developed a habit of serving others, right? Serving others. So that's our programming, and that's what we're comfortable with. And so when we learn, oh, wait a minute, we actually are going to be more effective if we serve ourselves first and then serve others. That's an evolutionary, step. And it's actually, we have to rewire the brain. And it's hard. And the reason it's hard is because you're building a new network in the brain, and that takes energy. And so when you're doing this kind of work and you go, oh, this is so hard, that's a sign that it's working. That's a sign that you're actually rewiring yourself. I say this in meditation practice all the time. When we want to get up in meditation and get on, and instead of stay, when you notice that it's uncomfortable and you stay anyway, that's the brain rewiring out of the old habit into a new one, right?
This is beautifully put, and I also add why it's also hard. It's not just even our brain, it's
Oh,
the people we get used to serve all the time.
that's
They
right.
just throw a little bit tantrum because it's something good taken away from them, and we just don't like it. It's a change for them too, and they
Absolutely.
will give us hard time that we
Okay.
change, and that's
Mhm.
also before we create our new neural connection, new path in our brain. There
Mhm.
is the hard part because we get those people get used to us different way.
I love that you said that, because the way the way that I see that is, we teach people how to treat us. So when I change and that person's like, you know, what's up? What happened? That's that's on me to try and be a good communicator and say, we're doing it this way now, right? To take ownership and, yep, all right, I taught you how to treat me and now I'm changing that. Right. So
Absolutely.
lots of empowerment. This is what I also see the focus of your practice, which is what is mine as well, which is why we get along so well, is to empower the client, the patient, the woman, and realize, that they have the power. They have their power is the power of their choice.
Absolutely. And the speaking the authentic truth empowered women because like you were saying, you need to create the neural connection, but when you add this, how it really look. Because no one talks about that, the ugly part. Everyone to see, the shiny star brighting, emerging like the phoenix, but there's the process of becoming, of the healing journey.
Mm.
It's not always pretty. Life happens, like you said, and we need to navigate through this journey with the grace,
Mm.
with a lot of forgiveness to ourselves
Mm.
and understanding. I always call it, you should treat yourself like best friend. So I always tell my clients, there is first time in your life you will meet your best friend, and your best friend is your name. This is you. So first time you're connecting, what your leg will tell you, what your brain will tell you, and how your body responds. And you know exactly that every unexpressed emotion, it will be stored in our body and will manifest in some sort of pain or illness. So and again, her journey is peeling layer after layer after layer. It's
Mm.
not even just nutrition because we're discovering slowly what food we should eat, what we shouldn't eat, how our body responds. And it's exactly the same. And this is your expertise with trauma, with the pain.
Mm.
It's just layer after layer. Our body needs to be ready. If we will do, I will talk about, from my perspective, just detox, like hard detox in one time, we get more sick. And I believe also with the releasing trauma and stuff, you need to do this as much your body can handle.
Mhm.
We cannot just wash up clear sheets at the same time and be like, okay, I'm done.
My experience with healing from trauma is that um I my body knows how much I can, like, what comes up is what I can handle.
Yes.
And it doesn't all come up at once. Now, it used to scare me because I was really trained to be afraid of emotion. So I was like, what is this? Right. But I learned to trust the body's ready to release this and go with that. And I learned to relax, relatively relax into that release when it happens. So yeah, the layer thing is real.
Yes,
Yeah,
it is.
that's a reason to be um, patient and really add a very generous helping of self compassion into the mix as part of being your best friend, your own best friend. Yeah.
Absolutely. I notice also like a lot of women loves, not even wants to, loves to hold the emotion, not to show up crying.
Hmm.
Just, I am strong, especially in our environment. We all strong women,
Hmm.
and we want to show up always smiling, beautiful, just sucking up all the negative emotions, all this, and we hide our tears, our emotions, because the social media worlds want to
It's our,
show us like beautiful
it's
fake
our training.
images,
It's
and this is
our
not that
training.
way.
Yeah.
We all have range of emotion, and all the humans emotion.
And that adds so much stress into the system. You're just adding burden, adding burden. So, just going to switch channels just for a moment. Thank you so much for sharing all that. So much wisdom there. The visibility challenge is connected into a new group called the Be Extraordinary Women's Network, which is a Facebook group that Debbie Predator, who's leading this visibility challenge, created. And when I first heard, be extraordinary, I was like, well, what does that mean? Do I have to be bigger and better than I am? What, I mean, that just like, what does that mean? So I had to kind of, feel into what that meant for me. What does that mean for you to be an extraordinary woman? Is there something extraordinary that happened in your life, or can you tell us about that?
This is very complex question.
I know.
And being extraordinary, first when I was invited and chosen to be the spark, thank you, Debbie, so much for choosing me. I was like, am I extraordinary, or I'm just a regular folk on the street? Because we don't give ourselves a credit. But since I was working and still work on myself for quite a long time, and I was just looking on the retrospective, like the third person on my life, and I was always doing something different. I was always standing out of the crowd and doing something what was not common. And what for me being extraordinary is how we show up when the lives show us all the bad stuff, how we are look for this. I am problem solver, and for me there is always a way. It's
Mhm.
not that way, there will be under the way. I never feel sorry for myself long. I always looking for solution, and I always try to empower other women.
Mhm.
So being chosen to be part of this extraordinary amazing group of women is just allow me to spread my mission, be surrounded by like-minded women. And when you are surrounded with the people who are also have a mission, they have something to offer the world, life is easier, more joyful
Mhm.
when you surround yourself with other people. And also it wants you to be better, to show up better. And you want to be part of this group, and you don't want to lose that side, because this is what you're creating. And being surrounded with extraordinary women who creating extraordinary ripple effect in the world creates what my mission is, which is better world, healthier world, more joyful world.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, we I love the collaborative model, which is a more feminine model, really, than the competitive male model, because my experience is we live in an abundant universe. Now, can you live that? And if I'm worried about the competition, I'm not living in an abundant universe. I'm not living as I'm in an abundant universe. I'm living in one that's believing in lack energetically, right? So the collaborative model actually aligns with the living in an abundant universe, which is, we live in an abundant universe. I know there's scarcity out there. I know there's suffering. I'm not denying that. But I am saying we need to live in alignment with 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 an understanding of the blessings that we have in every moment, and that collaborative model that where women are working together collaborating with one another, inspiring one another, lifting each other up lifts us all, I feel.
Absolutely, I completely agree with that. I used to be a basketball player, so I know the team how good it is, how collaboratively you can do amazing things. And when I started my journey in the functional medicine and nutrition, I thought I can incorporate everything by myself. The breath work, the trauma healing, Reiki, you name it. Like everything what I touch on, I mean, oh, I will do it. I will do it. This is so important. But honestly, I was lonely. I don't want to do this by myself. I love to share it with another woman and create some beautiful things together because that's bring me fulfillment, joy, and we as the human species, we are not meant to be separated. We need the people in our life. We need to be surrounded by other people. And we have power to choose the right people in our life.
Beautiful.
Who will not stress us, who will lift us up. And you will know this exactly when you walk in the room with like good energy, with great people, you immediately feel better. And sometimes when you are surrounded by negative energy, something what doesn't fit your soul, when you sometimes when in the even household, you're coming home from even work and you feel worse because that place doesn't feel your soul. Maybe this is your spouse, maybe this is your friends. So my point is when you're surrounded with great people, you immediately feel better.
We say in the yogic space, consciousness is caught.
Yes.
Consciousness is caught. So so that means be careful. Right? Because we tend to vibrate with the spaces that we're in, and it's interesting to walk into a room where the energy is what I would say contracted rather than expanded. I would say high or low, but I would say it that way, contracted, and to feel into that space. I'm more sensitive to it now than I was when I had chronic pain. That's for sure.
Oh, definitely.
Aware. Yeah. My goodness, Magda, thank you so much for spending time with us today. Can you tell everybody how they can get a hold of you?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. And people who are watching, you can find me on resetwellnessjourney.com or on my profile page on Facebook, Magda Sommer. So
Very
thank you
good.
so much.
I'll put the links to your website in the comment section once this gets posted. Okay. Well, thank you everyone for coming. Thank you for listening. Magda, thank you again. If you guys want a nice holistic, functional, nutritional advice, now you know who to go.